$2.5 million offer on my piece of land, and let me tell you why I'm not taking it. Let me break this down for you. So in this video, I'm gonna break down why I'm not accepting a $2.5 million offer, because it's kind of like something a lot of people do not know. And so I want landowners to understand when it deals with affordable housing developers and really what's going on in the back end. So you do kind of feel like you win the lottery when you get these kind of things. This is actually on one of our properties that we're already working on, workforce housing and veteran housing. And why am I rejecting it? So let me break it down. My name is Franklin Cruz. I'm a military veteran. I own a company called True Investors and True Developers. And I've been a developer for about 5.5 years full time and an investor now for about 20 years now. So yeah, I know it's crazy. I look pretty old for 70. Anyway, so breaking it down, why am I rejecting it? So with affordable housing, you kind of have this illusion when you're dealing with an LOI. So this LOI is from an affordable housing developer. And here's the catch with affordable housing developers. There is a lot to it. So I have been under contract 2 separate times with affordable housing developers, and 2 separate times they did not close. It was for a ridiculous amount of money, more money than I personally ever thought I should ever be entitled to see in my life. And I saw this and we went through the process. So we got our site approved and entitled. We got the geotechs done. We got that's boring in the ground, seeing if there's messed up any issues with it. And also just FYI, the amazing Khadijah Williams is behind the camera. So if I'm talking to her, I feel a little bit more comfortable having a conversation than I do sometimes looking at the camera. So I apologize. So Khadijah, I'm gonna talk to you, okay? So this is the issue when you're dealing with a roadmap and you're dealing with funding from, if you're in Florida and you're a landowner and you're getting these kind of bids, it's usually the affordable housing developers are getting their funding from Florida Housing Finance Corps, which typically is called FHFC. And so what happens is in your area, specifically like in Lakeland, so I'm in Lakeland. Lakeland now is considered what they call a large city. So it used to be called a medium city. Now there is 7 other large cities. Tampa's a large city, Orlando's a large city. I think Miami is a large city. Like there's large cities, but what happens is there's a point system. So this point system affects you if you're in a large city. That means you need more points to get the funding, okay? So what happens is in Lakeland, now it's considered a large city. So now you have to get, I believe it's 12 points to actually get the funding approved. That's only one threshold. There's like 7 different thresholds that this affordable housing developer, who again is putting a very low deposit down and a super long due diligence down and then kind of winging it. So what they do is they're gonna reach out to a lot of landowners, right? And there's nothing wrong with any of this. I'm just sharing because I have been on the back end of this and it went sideways. And then my friends are affordable housing developers, they're acquisition managers, and they tell me the truth. They're like, look, 75% of the time we lock up these deals, but 75% of the time it's not gonna go through, right? So they're gonna send you a lottery ticket and saying, you won the lottery, right? And if you don't know better, you kind of feel that way. You kind of feel like, oh my God, I won the lottery. Because for real, like, you know, if you got your property for a lot less than what they're giving it to you, like you are gonna do amazing. Like you're 100% going to Chili's. Like you are forget the special. You are getting your Chili's today, right? And so, but what happens is threshold number 1, they got to submit an application. They got to have a background that they've been approved before. Threshold number 2, they have an internal underwriting evaluation for their application, and it needs to meet certain compliances. That's another threshold. Another threshold, if it gets to this far, then they have to go to the review committee. So if you have any questions, stop me. Let me know too. Go.
I'm already confused.
Perfect. Awesome. So what happens is this, they're going to lock up your property. Okay. So they're going to lock it up. LOI leads to what they call a PSA, purchase sales agreement. This purchase sales agreement is typically going to be roughly anywhere from 10 to 15 pages, if not more. It's going to have a lot of legalese. My recommendation is make sure you have a great attorney that you've already used dealing with contract law. But before you give it to your attorney, grab a red marker and what I call redline it. That means basically read it word for word and then any words, specifically any words that you do not understand at all, redline it, because you do not just want to free willy and give something to your attorney and then say, hey, just let me know what you think. I have learned a hard lesson when it comes to that when I was doing another major deal, like it was a $10,000 lesson of like, don't do that again with my attorney. Not saying he was a bad attorney, it's just I didn't give him any kind of constraints at all. So now I did go to, I took one law class online dealing with contract law, and they talk about that, like red line every word you don't understand. So when you go in with your attorney, read it together. Don't just give it to them. Literally print it and say, here's your copy, here's my copy. When are you gonna have time to review this? Oh, I got time to, perfect. I'll be at your office, we're gonna do it together. Right? So that's gonna help. Now, if you feel comfortable of still going, they're gonna show you in the PSA, because even in the LOI, and a LOI is a letter of intent, they're gonna break this down for you, and they're gonna show you all these thresholds. The only catch is they don't tell you the micro details of these thresholds, because they don't know that you know somebody who's an acquisition manager for one of them. I do. Like one of my very good friends, I play pool with him a lot. He's actually an acquisition manager for affordable housing developer, and they've done a lot of things in the state, a lot. But he tells me the back end, like the truth behind it, right? Of like, okay, so you've got 7 major thresholds, right? And in these thresholds, meaning they have to qualify every way of the race. So imagine this is a marathon. And so if you don't get to a checkpoint at a certain time, you're out of the race automatically. Right? And so you got to hit that 7 times to even get to the finish line. On top of that, you got to work with your local municipalities, that's like your city, your county, whoever, to make sure that they're going to approve it too, because they have to have the backing. My site, we went through that. So I did actually get what they call a PUD. That means a plan, Plan Urban Development, I believe it is. That's basically changing the zonings to conditional use of affordable housing, 96 units for affordable housing, right? And so we were all for it. I spent a lot of money like getting all the studies done, a ton of time. It was 2 years of my life. So when I sat down with my friend, I was like, look, what happened twice? Like, I was like, tell me what is going on, you know? So after like 4 full glasses of whiskey I had to go, I was like, now what? And then he finally was like, okay, let me break this down. And I was like, perfect. And he's like, you know, they have to go to the review committee. And then after the review committee, they have to go to the Florida Housing Board, and they do what they call, it's the rubber stamp. Meaning, after you go, the board members, you go through, first step is this. You're going to accept your LOI, then go to a PSA, then you go to the application process, then there's an internal underwriting, then there's a review committee, and that review committee, each board member is going to give their comments, okay? So it's kind of like when I do major developments, I think I've showed you this a couple times. Remember the city they give these comments, right? Sorry, my computer fell off. And so everybody has their comments, and you have to address all these comments. Then afterwards, they have to rubber stamp it. So now they're saying, okay, this looks really good, you're good to go, or you're not good to go, right? But you still have other items you got to do. So then they're going to approve it or not. Then what happens after that time, there's a 1 to 3 month petition period that other affordable housing developers are allowed to challenge you. How gangster is that, right? Like seriously, like you were attempting, like, I'm doing affordable housing, I got all this. You literally you're right at the end. This is phase 6. And these Mufasa faces can go over there and literally challenge what you're doing, and they could poo-poo it. Like for real. So I was like, because I'm not gonna say his name, but he told me, he's like, they've done it to us. And I was like, what? He said, yeah. Because what they'll do is sometimes they get pissed. They're like, well, what about this, or what about this? They'll throw things at you that they could challenge you, and they could actually kill your whole deal. I didn't know that. So then at the very end, now you could potentially, if you get to the last phase, that's phase 7, that means now the board grants you your funding. So if you can get that, that sometimes could take anywhere from a year to a year and a half or longer.
Right.
Or you can get all the way up to this point and then they say they ran out of cash. Or last minute, because this is what happened to me last time. Or last minute, for the city of Lakeland, they pulled the funding. That nobody got funding.
Right.
Or because what happens is in every municipality, you have a housing authority, right? Like Lakeland has Lakeland Housing Authority. Tampa has Tampa Housing Authority. The only thing is, what a lot of people don't know this, is like technically that is not a government office.
Right.
Even though they have an office within the city hall.
Yeah.
But they have like this inside information. So last time, not last time, but the first time before that, remember I told you I had it on a contract twice, they got the funding. So I'm like, wait up. They have an office within City Hall. They're called Lakeland Housing Authority, and they got the funding.
Yeah.
How is that possible? And then it specifically says that no government agency is supposed to get the funding.
Right.
So we're like, what? This makes no sense. So I say all that because if you are a landowner and you own 5 acres or more, like myself, we had 14 acres here, right? And I have 130 acres on another location. It's like, they're gonna come after you in a good way. They're gonna send you an LOI. You're gonna think you hit the lottery, but if you don't know, you are blindly gonna go through this process, and even your attorney will say, hey, this seems like a good deal, because a lot of people don't know the inside information. The only ones that truly know, other than myself, but I had to get this information from years of having a relationship with somebody who is literally an acquisition manager for one of the largest affordable housing developers in the state of Florida.
Wow.
And because I own land, then other affordable housing acquisition managers would send me offers, right? So what I would do is I would play dumb. And I was like, well, what to my understanding is the roadblocks that you're gonna have and your constraints are gonna be the following. Am I incorrect on any of this? Every time they're always like, how does he know this? But I want them to rebuttal me. I want them to say, hey, it's a smoother process, it's whatever. They never have told me that. And I've got so many offers on this deal, it's been ridiculous. And the thing is, I can't wing it anymore. I can't just say like, okay, we're gonna sign it, because here's a couple things as a landowner. If you don't negotiate this properly, a lot of times they're not gonna give you any kind of holding costs. So they're not gonna say, hey, you have to maintain your acreage, which is expensive. You have to pay your taxes, which is high if you don't have a church on it, right? All these little fees you're paying for. One time when I was going through the process, we had somebody dump 50 tires on here. Yeah, which they don't even take tires anymore at the landfill. So thank God code enforcement helped me out. And they're like, yeah, we knew it was illegal, because you could do what they call a special pickup. And they did a special pickup for me. I was like, thank you, because that could have cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I did the stuff on purpose, right? Like I didn't dump the thing, like somebody dumped it on me. So little things that you have to really think about. Now, if you haven't done anything with the land and you've owned it for years, my recommendation is like, hey, reach out to me. If I can assist you, I will. I'll point you in the right direction, because a lot of times it's not going to be going this route, because you're literally going to sit on your property a long time, period. And they're going to control it, period. So my recommendation is like, do what we're doing right now. Like I'm just going through the process of like, we're just going to bump it. We're just going to do a workforce housing, veteran housing, probably adult care living. And we're just going to go all out. We're going to do it ourselves in phases. I'm not saying I know how to do the whole thing, but I do know that we can do this and we can pull this off, period. So that's kind of how I look at it. If you could do that, great. Or partner with somebody as well. So I really hope that this gives you a better perspective on the inside look of like, if you get a ridiculous offer from affordable housing developer, specifically that is getting funding from the city or the state, like now you know the inside. So ask them, hey, what is the thresholds? What more do you have to get approved for? Because they need to tell you that. Other than like, because what's going to happen on the LOI, they're only going to tell you, because right now I'm reading it right now and I read it beforehand, they only tell you 2 thresholds. They leave out 5 others.
Wow.
And they're saying, oh, well, this could take 6 months, and we have this is a blanket due diligence period. And we could cancel anytime. And it's fully refundable. No, it doesn't. Yeah, the deposit is fully refundable. So these are little things that you have to, if you don't know any better and you just think that you hit the lottery ticket because you hit it, it's not like that. Please, 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 please don't get hurt. If you know anybody with a lot of land and they're going through the same situation, again, if I can assist, let me know. Or if you want to learn a lot more about real estate development and, you know, joint ventures on deals and building and just a whole bunch of aspects. Right now, I'm actually doing a workshop here in my office for a select few that actually apply and you qualify. So if you go to truedevelopers.com right now, you can fill out the application. I'm personally going to be reviewing these because you're in my office, but we are going to go through the nuts and bolts of real estate development hands-on. So you're actually going to be going to sites with us. This is a 2-day all hands-on training, what I call like live fire. And you're going to be going through residential as well, some creative financing, new builds, and a whole bunch of other things. So again, if you believe that you can qualify for it, go to truedevelopers.com. Again, truedevelopers.com. I'll see you on the other side. And I hope you got something out of this as well, because I personally know a lot of people that are getting hurt from this because it's taking so much time and they could have went a different route and they didn't because they're locked in. So, all right, my name is Franklin Cruz from True Investors and True Developers. I'm out. Bye.